right, I guess just first off, you crossed paths with Mike Norvell early in his life at Central Arkansas. What were your first impressions, I guess, of him just as a player?
Mike is a player, man. He was an energetic dude, very, very, very hard worker, very smart player, and just passionate about the game of football.
How would you guys stay in touch throughout the years? Just text messages, phone calls, and how did that go?
Yeah, I think, as he decided to go into coaching, I think like any young guy would keep in touch with other guys who were, and I was a head coach at the time that he was getting into coaching, and so he probably stayed in touch with me hoping maybe I'd have a job at some point, but then he quickly started to ascend there at Tulsa and then still stayed in touch. And then when he got the offensive coordinator job at Arizona State, he got the opportunity to bring a couple of assistants on that side of the ball and asked me if I wanted to come join him. So we were there 3 years together, and great time. A lot of good offensive production, and had a lot of fun.
You've been your own boss, and you've worked for other people.
Yeah.
What's special, I guess, about Mike, or what do you find the most value to his style?
Just the number one thing is his passion for young people and helping them develop. He's got a sincere love for developing 18 to 22-year-old young men and helping them grow as players, but also as people, and helping them develop as students in the classroom. Just the thing that he brings is primarily is a passion for that, and so that's what I'm about. I love winning. I love competing at the highest level of college football, but also love seeing these kids. Mostly, I love seeing these kids accomplish their goals, and that's what he's about.
I covered a lot of high school football, and I've talked to the coaches about how it must be so crazy to coach kids these days, and they would say that kids haven't changed. It's the parents that have changed. I mean, is there a different message that you have to give kids these days than you did 30 years ago when it comes to getting the best out of them?
I don't think so. I think at the end of the day, they're like we are. They want an opportunity to be successful. They want to be a part of something, and they want to be held accountable to that. And so I don't think it's much different. The externals around them have changed a little bit with the social media and things like that, but there was externals back then that were tough that we all just have to navigate as we go through. So at the end of the day, they want the same things we want. So
hard work is such a broad, sort of vague term, but I mean, is that what it's going to take? And do kids embrace that challenge that you guys have laid before them now?
Yeah, I think every kid deep down wants to be pushed, wants to be challenged, wants to have the best brought out in them, and instinctively they know that there's a price to pay for that. There's a sacrifice they have to make, and so I think these guys will be no different than any other guys we've coached at any other place in terms of their desire to be great, and just excited to get a chance to work with them.
Coach said practices are open. Is that kind of a hindrance at all for you, or
No, it's not a hindrance. I mean, I think players. I think the more eyes that are on a practice or a game or whatever, I think that's motivating to players. And so, anywhere there's a great interest in what they're doing, that motivates them. So, we don't shy away from opening practices and doing things like that.
How would you kind of maybe define your style or describe, I guess, the kind of coach you want to be for these players?
Really what I talked about with at the end of the day, I'm going to take a service mindset. I want to serve these guys. I want to help them grow as players. I want them to visibly see and feel that I'm helping them get better as players, but then also help them develop as people and as students and push them. I want to always be respectful of them, but I also want to push them all the time and make sure that they understand the standard that we're going to bring every day.
You had a really good gig, Dallas-Fort Worth there at TCU.
Oh, man.
The decision into coming here, how did you process that?
That's a great question. I mean, having played at TCU and like I said, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, very familiar with a lot of people. Coach Patterson in that program do a phenomenal job. I learned a ton at TCU. Coach Patterson's a Hall of Fame coach. One day he'll be a college Hall of Fame coach, and so to get to learn from him was incredible. But then also, weighing this opportunity, a couple things. Have worked with Mike before on offense, and and just a great comfort level with the offensive system and how we're going to operate. And then as great a place as TCU is, Florida State's an awesome place too. And, you know, in my early years in coaching, Bobby Bowden was a huge inspiration to me as a guy that was a man of faith, but also won at a very, very high level. And reading about him and seeing the things that he was able to accomplish and actually getting to meet some of his assistant coaches back then, you know, there's something about Florida State that's special and that's intriguing to want to be able to come here and learn more about the culture. As I've been here, the short time I've been here, you can just feel that. You can feel that it's a special place. So, you know, it was a tough decision in some ways, but in some ways it was an opportunity that I couldn't pass up.
I guess it's safe to say that the brand is kind of sustained despite maybe the few hiccups of the last few years.
No,
the coaching fraternity, it's still with the Palms.
Oh, there's no question. Coaches, we all look at a location of a school, and that's what's great about TCU is the location of Dallas-Fort Worth. But you look at Florida and Georgia. When you grow up in Texas, you hear about Florida and Georgia football, and part of the intrigue for me is just to get in and dive in and feel and understand the culture of Florida and Georgia high school football and Alabama. And I mean, I coached at Central Arkansas. We would come play North Alabama and Valdosta. Man, they talk about two great programs that would hit you in the mouth and play physical. And so I'm a football fanatic. I'm a football junkie. I love football. It's just football's meant so much to me in my life. And so to actually have an opportunity to immerse myself in one of the greatest football cultures, and if not the greatest in America, that's another part of that opportunity that I'm excited about.
With so many coaches having head coaching experiences, is it too many chefs in the kitchen, or is that a real big benefit you think for this program?
No, it's not. I mean, I think head coaching experience is very valuable when you go back to being an assistant. Just you know and understand what that head coach is going through, and that gives you a level of understanding where you can help support him as much as you can. If the egos are too big and those guys aren't humble, then it can be a problem. But the guys that we have that have been head coaches possess the trait of humility, and you know, we'll give our opinion to Mike and we'll tell him what we think, and he may agree or he may not. But I don't think with the I know like Dave, you know, former head, just very strong minded guy, but also very humble. And so as long as you have the trait of humility, whether you're a coach or a player, you can fit into the overall big picture and vision of the head coach.
Offensive line is something that's been a real concern for a lot of the fans in the program. Do you expect to be helping out Alex and kind of working hand in hand with him at all?
I want to support all our coaches, you know, in whatever way that I can with the experience that I have, and whether it's Coach Fuller on defense trying to help him recruit a defensive end, whether it's Alex trying to help him go recruit an offensive tackle, if I can do that. One thing I'm super excited about with Alex is I want to learn from him. I love offensive line coaches. We're all a little bit different in how we teach stuff, and so I can't wait to get in the meeting room and get on the board and see how he teaches different things. And so we're all working together to try to help Florida State be very successful.
You mentioned the coaches. I know we were talking before, and you've known Coach Norvell a very long time.
Right.
What does that say about him to have all these people that have known him for so long come back to want to be a part of something here at Florida State?
Well, it just says that we believe in the vision that he has, and again, relationships are the number one thing with him. Having coached at Central Arkansas when he was a player, having worked with him as a coach at Arizona State, the number one thing about him is he has a genuine passion and care for young people, and not only young people but coaches. I mean, so I think everybody that has come here, he's touched in some way in terms of helping us grow or having us watched him help student athletes grow. So I think it says everything about him that just like we talked about earlier, I'm willing to leave TCU, Dallas-Fort Worth, a place I'm very comfortable with, to come out here and try to help him be successful.
Where's that sort of balance you think that Coach Norvell is going for in terms of there's a lot of guys on staff that he knows and he wants like-minded guys, but not necessarily guys who all think alike?
Yeah, I think if you look at the diversity of our staff and our backgrounds and our experiences, I think there's a nice blend of some of us that really do understand the schematic of the offense and how it operates, because it's not just the schematic piece, it's also the evaluation piece, the personnel that we're looking for. All those things are important, but then you throw a guy like Alex in who's not been in the offense, and we're excited to see what he brings. And then John, having come from, you look at John's background at Nebraska and the places he's been, I would assume be involved in helping him in special teams. Shoot, I can't wait to see what he does in special teams. So I think there's a nice blend of experiences with Mike, but also some guys that don't have the experience with Mike, a different blend in ages and backgrounds and all the different things that I think it takes to be successful.
You're gonna be like a spackle guy. It's not, just wherever your need is, pretty much. Is that do you have a defined role? Do you feel like, or is it going to be?
I mean, the role of deputy head coach, I think is just to support Mike and what he's doing, and to support our coaches. Like I've been a head coach. I've been an assistant. I know the connect between the two, and it's going to be an evolving role for me. The tight end role is big in terms we utilize the tight end a lot in a lot of different ways, and there's a lot to it. So I'm excited about that. I've coached offensive line the last 8 years, so I'm excited to get in that part of the offense. But my role will evolve, but I want to serve and support the players and the coaches, the community, in whatever way I can.
What is it that makes working for Mike so appealing or enticing, where guys come back to work for him and guys like yourself who are veterans jump ship and come here to work?
Yeah, it's just his passion for the development of student athletes and coaches. He wants to help those players grow in every way, on the field, off the field. He truly has that passion to help them do that, but he also pushes us and challenges us, and so we'll grow as coaches in those ways, but that's the big thing, just the passion for the student athlete.
Is it amazing to see that a guy who's still, relatively speaking, young to be a head coach?
It is, but when we worked together at Arizona State, 2013 was the first year, so Mike was early 30s. He was a natural at that. You gotta get kids to follow you. They gotta want to get behind you somehow, and he's a natural at that. It's not always happy-go-lucky and smile. He's going to get after you also, but he's going to love on those guys and get the best out of them. And so I think I've seen a lot of young coaches that are great. I think Kenny Dillingham, as young as he is, Kenny was a GA with us at Arizona State. Wow. It was immediately evident to me how smart he was. He was going to go interview for an offensive line job at an FCS school, so we go back in the back, and he's getting me to help him prepare for this interview, and he already knew most of the stuff. I was like, wow. He never played it or coached it, so but also he's got that passion for helping young guys develop. So whether you're further along like I am, or getting started, or like Mike is kind of in the middle, if you have that, you have that.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,